أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. And when they meet those who believe, they say, "We believe." But when they are alone with their evil ones, they say, "Indeed, we are with you. We were only mockers." But Allah mocks them and prolongs them in their transgression, while they wander blindly. Those are the ones who have purchased misguidance for guidance. So their transaction has brought no profit, nor were they guided. In these ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the behavior of hypocrites in different circles. That when they are with Muslims, they say we are believers. So they are again mentioning their belief by saying it. قَالُوا آمَنَّا. But when they are alone towards their leaders, shayateen, they say, "We are with you, we were just mocking." The very first thing we understand of this ayah is that they are two faced people. They change their statement just according to the situation. The question is who they are really with, the believers or the disbelievers. In Surah An-Nisa we learn مُذَبْذَبِينَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ لَا إِلَى هَؤُلَاءِ وَلَا إِلَى هَؤُلَاءِ, wavering between them, belonging neither to the believers nor to the disbelievers. And whoever Allah leaves astray, never will you find for him a way. So they are not sincere to any of the groups. But then why they claim to be with them? As this way they want to take the benefits from both of them, and also to be saved from making any sacrifice for either of them. As when it is time to gain benefits from one of the group, they are with them. But when it is the time to make a sacrifice for them, they will be with the other group. The word khalaw along with ila means to be alone with someone who is higher in rank than you. So it means they are alone towards people like them, people with no iman, like the Jewish leaders or the leaders among the idol worshippers. But why these leaders are being called shayateen? Let's see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the alliance to shaitan that he does whisper to us. He has the reach till our sudur, the chests. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas. But then he cannot reach our hearts until we let him enter, opening our hearts towards his whispers. And if we don't let him out soon, he will start creating fasad in our hearts until time comes that our hearts are kind of fully invaded by shaitan. So then a person just behaves like shaitan. This is one of the reasons why these leaders are being called shayateen. Also, when these leaders they used to see the hypocrites going towards Muslims, behaving as if they are one of them, it used to rage them up. So the word shayateen has been used as one of the meaning for shaitan, shin ya ta, is to be put on fire. These hypocrites were well aware that their leaders are not happy on them. So they have to come back to them and tell them that we are not with them. We are not with the Muslims. We are just mocking. Allahu yastahzi'u bihim wa yamudduhum fi tughyanihim ya'mahun. But Allah mocks them and prolongs them in their transgression while they wander blindly. What is the mockery which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates to himself? It is that for the time being these tricks of the hypocrites they are kind of helping them in their goals. So they keep on being on the same traits, thinking that they will be always successful this way. But will they be successful? Let's see. The word yamuddu, mim dal dal, means to extend, and ya'mahun, ain mim ha, means to be blind at heart. They choose this way of living thinking themselves to be very smart, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lets them live the way they decided. They keep on transgressing blindly without any thought of consequences, as their belief about the Akhirah is very weak. They fail to realize that they are heading towards total destruction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the end result of such people in Suratul Qalam. فَذَرْنِي وَمَن يُكَذِّبُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ سَنَسْتَدْرِجُهُم مِّنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So leave me with the matter of whoever denies the Quran. We will progressively lead them to punishment from where they do not know. So, for such people, the punishment will be the way they never expected and the time they never expected. Here, a person might think that why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them extend in their wrong ways? The answer is in the next ayah. أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. Those are the ones who have purchased misguidance in exchange for guidance. So their transaction has brought no profit, nor they were those who get the guidance. So these people, they bought misguidance, giving up on guidance. Whenever we buy something, do we really think consciously what we are buying? Yes, we always do. So these people, they bought misguidance, knowingly, consciously. Then they bought it by giving up on guidance. Like we buy something by giving something like some currency or some valuable thing. Hence, we understand they had the guidance first, but they gave it up in exchange for misguidance. Like we learn in Suratul Munafiqun. ذلك بأنهم آمنوا ثم كفروا فطبع على قلوبهم فهم لا يفقهون. That is because they believed and then they disbelieved. So their hearts were sealed over and they do not understand. When a person is behaving this way, then surely he does not want to be guided. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do not guide people forcefully. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let them live the way they chose for themselves. But He is telling clearly that this trade is never profitable. Thus, this trade is of sure loss, a great loss. If we reflect a little bit that what this trade is about, then it is very clear that it is giving up on akhirah in the exchange of worldly benefits. This practice is very common among us, that we easily compromise on commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Usually, we are not ready to give up on any of our choices, likings, desires, objectives in obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This way of life is very dangerous, as it is kind of clear announcement that we have preferred this dunya over the hereafter. But for the successful ones, the mu'mineen, the true believers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions their trade in Surah Saf. يا أيها الذين آمنوا هل أدلكم على تجارة تنجيكم من عذاب أليم. O you who have believed, shall I guide you to a transaction that will save you from a painful punishment? تؤمنون بالله ورسوله وتجاهدون في سبيل الله بأموالكم وأنفسكم ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. It is that you believe in Allah and His Messenger and strive in the cause of Allah with your wealth and your lives. That is best for you if you only knew. But why do many people prefer this world over the hereafter? As either their belief in Akhirah is faulty or it's very weak. For us, that we strengthen our beliefs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the Quran. So we need to learn the Quran and stay connected to Book of Allah. This way we can grow in our Iman so that we are saved from falling in this category of people. Ameen. If we see the traits of hypocrites as explained in ayat 8 till 16, we see that they make big statements but false statements. They think their ways will work for them always, but they are in self deception. They have diseased hearts, and their life is based on lies. They create fasad while considering it to be Islah. They consider believers foolish while they are themselves foolish. They are two faced people, changing according to the situation. They knowingly buy misguidance, giving up on guidance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions for them twice la yash'urun, that they do not perceive, and then la ya'lamun, that they do not know. All their failures towards the true realization sum up in yarmahun, that they are just wandering blindly, as their perception is delusion and their knowledge is no knowledge.
ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين يخادعون الله والذين آمنوا وما يخدعون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون وإذا قيل لهم لا تفسدوا في الأرض قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا كما آمن الناس قالوا أنؤمن كما آمن السفهاء ألا إنهم هم السفهاء ولكن لا يعلمون وإذا لقوا الذين آمنوا قالوا آمنا وإذا خلوا إلى شياطينهم قالوا إنا معكم إنما نحن مستهزئون الله يستهزئ بهم ويمدهم في طغيانهم يعمهون أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.